Well, let's talk about the state of the self-storage industry, or at least my takeaways from the Inside Self-Storage Convention on the state of the self-storage industry. Hello, my name is Mark Helm, and I'm the author of Creating Wealth Through Self-Storage, and I'm the creator of the Self-Storage Quick Start Academy. And I help investors who are getting in the self-storage business, and I help smaller investors who want to grow their self-storage business strategically do so in a way that creates true wealth and a fulfilling career. And I've just got back a few days ago from the Inside Self-Storage Convention, the April 2017 National Convention in Las Vegas. And I wanted to share with you a few of the takeaways that I got from the self-storage convention itself. Now, as a leader, one of our jobs is to look out into the future and predict what's coming. Now, we don't always do it exactly right, and we don't always hit it perfectly, but if you're getting in the self-storage business or you're growing your self-storage business, you're the leader. And part of your job description is to anticipate the landscape of the industry and anticipate the landscape of the economy, because our self-storage business operates inside of that. So as I went to the ISS convention, that was one of the goals I had in mind, was to see if I could discern from listening to all the different speakers what is the direction the industry is going at this moment. Now, it was great meeting many of you there. I was one of the speakers. I also had a booth there, and in the booth we demonstrated version 2 of the Storage World Analyzer. I got a lot of feedback from you all, and we're making a few minor adjustments. And if you're watching this towards the end of April 2017, know we're about 10 days away from doing our launch of version 2. Very excited about it, but that's not what this video is about. This is about my takeaways from attending the Inside Self-Storage Convention. So has the market peaked? Has the self-storage market peaked? Well, it looks like it has. From talking to brokers out there, from talking to investors out there, and listening to many of the speakers, it occurs to me like we kind of hit our peak around July or August of 2016. Now, that doesn't mean prices are going down, and that doesn't mean cap rates are going up. What that means is I don't see any further compression on the cap rates, and I don't see any further going up in the prices. In fact, talking to many of the brokers, I got that there's actually less inventory on the market. I also got that the REITs are buying less right now. There's a little bit of uncertainty on their part. There's uncertainty on Washington and which direction the tax policy is going to go. There's just a lot of uncertainty, and a lot of square footage was purchased and put into service and still being constructed and going into service by the REITs and a lot of the large players. So there's a real slowdown at that level from what I can see. So there's less inventory on the market. There's a slowdown in activity from the larger players from what I can see. And from talking to many of the brokers, what I got was that there's going to be, as they're talking with sellers now, especially sellers that are in smaller markets and especially sellers that are in the outer belts of the larger markets, from what I can see is the brokers are being a little more realistic with those sellers, helping shape the expectations of what a final sale price is going to be. So I think it's moving in a good direction for us, the smaller investor. It might take a while to fully experience the benefits of it moving in that direction, but I see that the peak has happened and we're starting to change now. So the next question I had and I was listening for is, are rental rates going up? You know, over the past 4 years or so, we've been averaging about a 6% a year price increase on average in the portfolio that we have? Well, I don't think we're going to be experiencing that in the next few years. In fact, some of the larger players who literally do their pro formas on what they can pay for self-storage facilities are using no growth or minimal growth in the next year or two as they're looking into the future and doing their pro formas. I am a firm believer in having in our pro formas a 3% a year price increase on the gross potential income. Now, during the recession, was I able to get 3% a year? Well, no, but over a certain time period, it was very easy for us to average that 3% a year. So we're still using 3% a year, feeling very safe on that with our income increase projections. But just know that it's going to slow down, maybe be flat for a while, and as they go up, you will not be having the multiple price increases per year you may be used to, or you're not going to see them go up as much each time there's a price increase. So that was one of the takeaways that I got from being at the Inside Self-Storage Convention. Now, as I listened to everyone and I was piecing it all together, here's what I want to leave you with. And this is good news for the smaller investor. If you look at our industry as a whole, you know, there's a lot, the REITs have had a huge impact in our industry over the past 4 or 5 years. I mean, they have literally come in with billions of dollars, driving cap rates down and driving sale prices up. And even in markets where there are no REITs, their activity in this industry has really impacted the whole industry. And we talk a lot about them. There's a lot of articles and there's a lot of information about REITs. But here's the thing. They still only account for between 20 and 22% from what I can best piece together of all the self-storage facilities in the whole country. Still, over 60% of the self-storage facilities in the continental U.S. are owned by people who just own one facility. 60%. Now, think about that. In the next decade, what percentage of that approximately 60% do you think is going to hit the market? Let's just say it's half. So in other words, in the next 10 years, 30% of all self-storage facilities are probably going to enter the market for sale. Now, what drives a property going into the market for sale is generally not market conditions when it's, you know, a single owner like that. Usually what facilitates a sale is some change in the life of the owner, such as retirement, death, getting sick, being relocated. Some type of change in the owner's life usually facilitates that property going on the market. Now, as I look back at our portfolio, the majority of what we've bought have been purchased from those people that just own one facility. And what we've noticed as a general rule, not in every instance, but as a general rule, these guys get very complacent with their cash flow. At some point, they tend to be scared to raise prices. They would rather keep the prices down and keep it full or fuller. And there's a lot of money left on the table and a lot of income streams that aren't even gone for, like tenant insurance or truck rental. And as this industry becomes more and more sophisticated, many of these owners get further and further behind. That is wonderful. We love those. I love seeing properties where there's a 10 to 20% gap between physical occupancy and economic occupancy. And you, as a smaller investor, are going to see a lot more of those hitting the market in the next decade. I say the future is bright for our industry. I say the future is bright particularly for the smaller investor. So as these properties hit the market, as a larger percentage of the population begins to use self-storage, The sooner you get in the self-storage business, the sooner you're going to be creating the wealth that these facilities can offer. So those are just some of the takeaways I got from being at the Inside Self-Storage Convention. I'm very interested, if you were there, what your takeaways were, what you learned. Here's my request. In the comment section below on this either video or on the blog, if you're reading it and seeing it in Creating Wealth Through Self-Storage, episode 109, please leave your comments on what your takeaways, what you left the ISS convention with. I'd be very interested in hearing it, and it would be great of you to share it with the community so the people who didn't go can get more than just my perspective. So thank you very much. My name is Mark Helm. I'm the author of Creating Wealth Through Self-Storage, and I'm the creator of the Storage World Analyzer. And like I said, we're launching version 2 very soon, and I am very proud of this program. It is an exciting, awesome program that makes analyzing these facilities that we just have been talking about, analyzing them and projecting cash flows very accurately. It creates great reports that you can use to raise money, to go to banks, and determine what you can pay for that self-storage facility. For more information, go to creatingwealththroughselfstorage.com and/or thestorageworldanalyzer.com. My name is Mark Helm. Thank you very much. I look forward to connecting with you next week.